Well, we went a little longer than 2 or 3 minutes, but I think you all found that we've got 6 really wonderful people running for office. So let's see if we can get some questions that define the politics here of what this means to be a commissioner. One of the things that the chamber, the first questions the chamber came up with, is the fact that our mission as a chamber is the chamber will advance the business environment and economic base of the Bismarck-Mandan area. So what we would ask each of the candidates is, how would your leadership on the commission support the mission of the chamber, which again is to advance the business environment and economic base of Bismarck-Mandan? And I'll start that off with you, Brenda.
There's no question that we need to have a strong business climate in the city of Bismarck. Basically, I think we do have a lot to offer when it comes to businesses, but I think we do have a lot that we're missing. And I think, as far as I'm concerned, we need to have some sort of manufacturing. We lost our biggest manufacturing plant last year, and that was a devastating blow to this community. I saw it firsthand when I was interviewing the workers at the Bobcat plant. They'd look at me in the eyes and say, I don't know what I'm going to do. This is all I've done for 20, 30 years. Well, we need to bring some sort of plant like that back to this community. We need to have more than just one manufacturing plant like that here. I go to other communities such as Jamestown, where my brother lives, and they have a lot more manufacturing than we do. I think we have lost in that realm of the manufacturing industry. Now the question then becomes, how do we do that? You know, do we offer a lot of tax incentives or money to bring those kinds of businesses here? And I'm not a big supporter of providing money up front to a business to come here. I think we had a company, Mamtech, just recently decide not to come here. They wanted $25 million. That's a lot of money to provide a company to come here to bring possibly 300 jobs. There's no guarantee in that. I think there does need to be some kind of incentive to bring a business here, but the question then becomes, what kind of incentive and how big of an incentive? My personal plan would be to base your incentive on the kinds of jobs you're bringing. If you're bringing jobs that are $20, $25 an hour, something where you're going to keep the young people here, provide a good quality job, a good quality of life for those people working at that company, maybe you deserve a little bit bigger of an incentive. But I'm not saying give them the farm. By no way do I support giving a company a farm to come here.
Thank you, Brett. Same question, Kurt Schmidt. The Chamber will advance the business environment and economic base of the Bismarck area is our mission. And how, as your life on the commission, how would you advance that business environment and economic base?
Well, I think government needs to create an environment that allows business to foster, or that allows business to grow. It needs to get out of the way. It needs to streamline processes. It needs to make sure that it is not the bureaucratic red tape that's holding everything up. We certainly can look at tax assistance. I think any assistance we provide in that area needs to be short-lived. It needs to be tied to objectives and measurable. It needs to be tied to the long-term viability of the organization we're bringing in, so that we're not giving away $26 million for Mamtech to come in, or we're not giving away millions of dollars for Sykes to come in just to turn around in 10 years and disappear. Not that it's their fault, I mean, it was difficult times, but we need to make sure that we're tying our incentives to the long-term viability of the organization. I would be opposed to giving away the huge incentives that some of those organizations, and I read the story about Mamtech as well, and they located in Missouri. They didn't really give the details on what exactly the incentive was. They did mention that we couldn't commit to the package that they wanted. I thought that was an interesting statement. How many millions of dollars does it take to get an organization here? Shuff Steel is another one. It's my understanding that between state, city, and federal dollars, that they're looking at a package of upwards of $20-some-odd million to get them to locate here to bring 350 jobs. That math works out to about $140,000 a job. Taxpayer money buying jobs at $140,000. But those are, I think those are I think we need to scrutinize those dollars very carefully and realize again that those are taxpayer dollars, and is that the best use of them, or are there other alternatives that we can use to entice businesses here? But the short answer is that that government needs to make sure it's not in the way, that it creates an environment that fosters business and fosters growth.
Thank you, Craig. Josh, same question?
Thanks, Wally. And I really, in my vision that I've laid out in my campaign, I talked about it earlier, it's about promoting sustainable growth, and that really means creating a quality of place. And there's two things that really, in my research and in my professional life and in my personal life, I've looked at that are always ranked in the top 10 of encouraging people to start businesses, locate businesses, and those top two are always education and infrastructure. I spend every day working on education and trying to improve public education and education policy in this community and in the state. And the other one I want to do now is work on infrastructure, and that means good roads, great police fire protection. But the city also has a role in creating an environment where entrepreneurs want to start a business, where people want to come and grow their business. People want to move a business here. And part of that role is using the tools we have with the Vision Fund, with working with our partners at the Chamber of Commerce, at BMDA, and using them as advocates for our community to work with them to get business here. I will be the first one to tell you one of the things I think the city needs to spend more time doing is growing jobs. The Chamber of Commerce did a study, I believe it was 3, 4, maybe even 5 years ago now, about entrepreneurs and about young entrepreneurs. And as a young professional, I went and talked to Kelvin and said, Kelvin, can I get a copy of that? I'd love to see it and take a look at it. And the interesting thing about that is of all the people who start businesses here, one of the things we as a community need to get better at is supporting those that are already here. We do a really good job at getting people up and running and doing a really good job at getting people to come here, and then we kind of say, yep, see you later, thanks. And as a young professional working in this community, one of the things one of my previous opponents talked about was having manufacturing jobs. And I'll be the first one to tell you, I think manufacturing is an important part of our economy. I think it'll continue to be an important part of our economy. But we as a city need to start positioning ourselves, working again with our partners to capture the next round of what will be, I think, economic success in this community. And that's high-tech, high-thinking, higher-wage jobs. And we have to find an area in our community to encourage that's going to foster those people to start businesses here and grow businesses here and spend more time working on that. And that's why I've had a commitment to redeveloping downtown. I think that's where those people want to go. I've had a lot of interaction with them. That's one of the advantages in this race of being my age, I guess you might say, is I get a chance to interact with these people on a daily basis, and as a member of the Young Professionals Network, I do that. And so how do we create that quality environment where we have good roads, quality schools, great parks and recreation, and an environment that encourages people to start businesses and grow here?
Thanks, Jim.